and their predictions of the apocalypse. These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy, wreck our country.
2 days after Donald Trump gave that speech, the 89-year-old leftist weirdo billionaire George Soros made an emergency intervention where, at Davos, once again, warning that the U.S. 2020 election will determine the, quote, fate of the whole world. Now, in the context of Davos, take a look at this one more time. This is a month after Donald Trump addressed Davos and stuck the MAGA finger in their face. Here's what Francis, the Vatican, and Jeffrey Sachs had to say in response.
And it is a dangerous country right now. It will be absolutely dangerous if Trump wins re-election. Trump wins re-election. Trump wins re-election.
Francis invited this guy to the Amazon Synod as an honored guest and advisor. He's also Bernie Sanders' advisor. What's he doing in the Vatican? Why is this guy who's a promoter for socialist, out and out socialist, Bernie Sanders, what's he doing advising the Pope? Why does he have entree to the Vatican, friends? Sachs supports abortion and contraception, but that's not a problem for the Vatican. For the Vatican, for Pope Francis, and for his friends at the UN, Donald Trump is the problem, obviously, friends.
Clearly, I consider the Trump administration a danger to the world, but I regard it as a purely temporary phenomenon that will disappear in 2020.
Do you get it? Do you see why there's so much hate for Trump? Because with all of his faults, again, he's the capitalist. He's not the globalist. He never will be one of them, which is why he pulled the United States out of the Paris Climate Agreement. Donald Trump pulled the United States out of the World Health Organization. That's Bill Gates and company. And now he's threatening to pull the United States out of the World Trade Organization. People say, yeah, well, Donald Trump got married twice. He's a bad guy. Really? He's right in the face of the demon.
On my way to Buffalo, New York this morning, and saw this billboard.
Real men of genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Mail Order Bride Orderer.
Mr. Mail Order Bride Orderer.
Some men flip through a catalog looking.
I don't want to be a bitch, but you guys are really boring.
Okay, yeah. I can see how it looks like she's on some kind of space cake. But I did say that I had more on Beyonce, so let's go. So it's not really news to anyone that this nearly 2-minute intro to the visual album Lemonade back in 2016 is without a doubt extremely bizarre. I can't show the full thing here because it's just too long, but here's a little bit for context sake.
I threw myself into a volcano. I drank the blood and drank the wine. I sat alone and begged and bent at the waist for God. I crossed myself and thought I saw the devil. I grew thickened skin on my feet. I bathed in bleach and plugged my menses with pages from the holy book.
What? Okay, so there's that. There was also this video that recently surfaced that was sort of going around and being analysed. And I'd love to show it to you, so check it out. So this is a screen recording someone got of her live. Bruh, are you seeing that? Anyway, when I first saw that, I thought it was Photoshop too. Like, it could easily be. Pretty much anybody could do that. But then I came across this, and now I'm like a little bit scared. So this is a tiny little snippet of a music video. Dude. What is that? Why would this need to be in their video? Okay, I sharpened the image so you could get a better view of it. Like, I don't even want to look at this. What is with this hand symbol thingy? And in what world would a creature like this, with teeth like that, red eyes and a gaping hole for a nose, would this need to be featured in any music video? Like, we're all aware of subliminal messaging, especially music videos, but that's a bit extreme. Beyonce? Are you okay, Joel? Okay, I'm scared now. I'm sure it was just a statue, and I'm sure there's a perfectly logical explanation for it.
What would you have done on September the 12th, 2001? What would you have done if you'd been president?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
I would have done a legitimate investigation to find out what exactly happened on 9/11. How did they know who did this so quickly like they did Lee Harvey Oswald? How quick they knew Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy.
Because the people who did it were identified and we knew who they were.
Well, then why couldn't we have stopped them beforehand if they were identified and we knew who they were?
It was a failure of intelligence. Everyone's accepted
No, it
that.
wasn't. We knew before with Condoleezza Rice's memo on August 6th when it stated right in the memo, bin Laden to steal planes and run them into buildings. And more stuff is coming out now also, how much the Bush administration ignored the intelligence. It was almost like they ignored it because they wanted it to happen.
Oh my god, it's an owl and not a giant statue depicting Moloch, the ancient Babylonian god that required child sacrifice. Yes, I love owls. For all you crazy conspiracy theorists, it's not Moloch. It's just an owl because they're at night and this took place at night, so it makes sense. You know what I mean? And then playing the theme of like the Hunger Games or whatever. Oh, Squid Games. Yeah, whatever. Definitely not the same vibes as Bohemian Grove. I mean, it kind of is, but like people see owls everywhere and you can make giant statues to them and like have them as decoration if you want. Like, we live in America, you can be free to worship giant statues of owls. It's a freedom. Not everything is symbolism. All of you all need to chill. It's just a giant Moloch owl statue. Duh.
From wingtip to wingtip, a 757 is 124 feet 10 inches. From nose to tail, a 757 is 155 feet and 3 inches in length, and the height is 44 feet and 6 inches. However, when you look at the hole at the Pentagon, you'll find that it's only approximately 65 feet across. How does a plane of those dimensions fit into a hole only 65 feet across? Upon further inspection, we found that the damage at the Pentagon was completely and totally inconsistent with the damage of the planes that had hit the World Trade Center. I mean, after all, the planes that hit the Trade Center created a fire so intense that it fatigued the steel and collapsed the buildings, or so that's what we were told. And yet, when you look at the left side of the Pentagon, you'll note that there is very little, if any, smoke damage or heat damage at all. On the third floor, it's very plain to see a file cabinet with a computer monitor. Neither of them are damaged. On the second floor, you can see a wooden desk. It hasn't burned. And on the first floor, a very curious sight indeed, a wooden stool with a book that is laying and open. The pages aren't even singed. Now, each of the planes involved in the September 11th attacks had embarked upon transcontinental flights, which means that they had a majority of their fuel left over when they hit their respective targets. That means that approximately 8,600 remaining gallons of fuel would have been ignited on the 757 that had hit the Pentagon. Again, we look at the photograph and ask ourselves, is the smoke and heat damage consistent with that amount of fuel being ignited? Ms. Therese Sagnier, a certified environmental specialist and a member of the Environmental Assessors Association, sent us the following letter after a brief conversation we had on the telephone. She had said to us that the amount of fuel that would have been left in the aircraft that had hit the Pentagon would basically have reduced that section of the Pentagon to rubble and would have burned for days. And that 8,600 gallons